What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I love to talk about all things Peloton, cycling, and fitness, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday. Also going to plug my new Instagram. It's Emma_cycle, and I'm trying to post Peloton fitness inspiration content there. Let me know if there's any specific content you'd like to see. I definitely am not sure exactly what I should be posting, but I'd love to connect with you on another platform, so go follow that. Today's video is going to be possibly the start of a series, depending if you guys like it, if you think it's fun. I thought that this was a cool idea. Basically, I want to pick an instructor and then do a deep dive on their life, how they got to Peloton, what they were doing before then. A lot of instructors have super cool backgrounds. I think the biggest one is like Sam Yo was a monk before being a Peloton. Alex Toussaint started by sweeping the floors and being a janitor for spin studios. Robin Arzon just has an insane life that has led her to Peloton, but I put up a poll and asked you guys who you wanted to see first, and it was actually pretty split, but Cody Rigsby did take the lead, so I'm going to be covering him today, and I'll give you guys a deep dive, and then I'm going to do a couple of his most popular rides and kind of talk about his offerings on the platform. First off, it's pretty interesting because I've done a little bit of research on a couple different instructors, and some instructors are very much an open book and have a ton of information out there, have a Wikipedia page of them, and pretty much will tell you everything that's ever happened to them. So it's super easy to figure out their entire life. While others have a little less information, no Wikipedia page, and have only done a couple of interviews. And I think that Cody definitely falls into the second category, where there's not a ton of information about him, but I will tell you guys what I could find. I also completely understand this. They only got famous within really the last year, if not like the last couple of years. I get why you would want to keep parts of your lives private, and then obviously since they weren't famous growing up, there's not a lot of information from that. But I will tell you what he has told all of the interviewers. So Cody Rigsby was born June 8th, 1987 in California. So he is 33 now, and he is also a Gemini, which I think is interesting because I feel like Geminis kind of get a bad rep. And pretty early on in his childhood, he relocated to Greensboro, North Carolina, which is where he grew up and went to college. So really, he spent the majority of his life in North Carolina. His mom, Sydney Rigsby, raised him, and it seemed like she was a single parent. It's not very clear what happened to the dad, but he seemed to not be in the picture at all. And it seemed like kind of a rough childhood. He did open up and say for about 3 years, him and his mom were homeless, and they were in and out of hotels and staying with friends, and that was really hard for him. And he also says that part of the reason why he likes pop music so much is the pop CDs that his mom bought him were his escape from this like terrible situation that they were in, and he really looked to them for inspiration. And he's like, I remember my mom getting me a Spice Girl CD and just screaming of happiness. And then he's also like, I didn't know how she didn't know I was gay in that moment. But also I couldn't find a ton of information about his coming out, but it seemed like growing up in the South, he felt that he could not be himself at all, that he would face a lot of homophobia. So he tried to date a girl in high school, and he said that that was very unsuccessful, and then he really didn't come out until he got to New York much later in his life. Cody also speaks about in interviews the strained relationship he had with his mom growing up. I feel like he blamed her for a lot of situations they were in, but he said with going to therapy later in life, he has been able to confront those hard feelings and built a very strong relationship with his mom. He shouts her out in rides all the time, and he recently moved her to New York to be super close to him. So I'm glad that they could resolve their differences and that they seem to have a very good and close relationship right now. Cody also cites in a lot of interviews that Total Request Live, or TRL, that was on MTV was a really big inspiration for him. So basically the show just played the 10 most requested music videos that day, and Cody saw it and he saw the dancers in the music videos and he was like, I want to do that. But growing up, since they didn't have a lot of money, he could never take any dance classes, but he did choreograph his high school musical. So he did what he could to still be involved with dance, but he had no formal training growing up, which is pretty crazy for what comes later in his life. So then he goes to college at the University of North Carolina in Greensboro and enrolls in his first ballet class at a community college. And when he talks in interviews about that, he says that he was, this 18-year-old boy, and there was a bunch of 12-year-old girls in this ballet class. But apparently he really stood out because he got a scholarship to go to the Broadway Dance Center in New York in the summer. He also interned there, which I found on his LinkedIn. And he also interned as a Fashion Week intern for Tracy Reese, which I thought was interesting. I found his LinkedIn. It was very sparse. He does not keep it up to date, but it had some of the information of like what he was doing during college, which he doesn't talk a lot about in interviews. He then graduated from the University of North Carolina, Greensboro with a BS in Human Environmental Sciences, Consumer, Apparel, and Retail Studies. And he moved to New York City. And there he worked at gay bars for money, and he also danced backup for local artists. And I guess that this was enough. An agent noticed him and he signed with an agent, which really seemed to change his life. And he was booking gigs with Pitbull, Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj, and at the Victoria's Secret fashion shows. So he was definitely an up and coming dancer, but I guess he wasn't booking the roles enough that it could support himself. So then another choreographer came up to him and said that there was a small fitness startup that was looking for performers and that Cody should apply. And guess what? That startup, Peloton. So Cody applied, he obviously got the job, and he's been at Peloton for 7 years now, which is just crazy that he's been doing it for so long, and he still has such a passion when he teaches the classes. On Peloton, he is primarily a cycling instructor, although he does dabble in meditation and strength. And he's definitely regarded as the fun instructor. A lot of people compare his classes to just chatting with your best friend. He references a lot of pop culture, which people like. He plays popular music. He also loves his Britney Spears, Spice Girls, lots of throwback music in his rides. He also said in an interview that he kind of wanted to be the opposite of what a normal fitness instructor is. You think that a normal fitness instructor is really yelling at you, encouraging you to do your best, and that he wanted to have a more laid back approach and feel like it was a more fun time. And I definitely feel like that is well received. People like that you get on the bike, you're doing a workout, but you're still having a lot of fun. In the past year, he's been using his platform for a lot of activism. He really encouraged people to get out and vote. He also has openly supported Black Lives Matter and the gay rights movement. So it's nice to see that he's using his platform to support movements that he cares about. And last year in April 2020, he posted on Instagram that he was dating Andre Alfaro, who is an instructor at Barry's Boot Camp. So I think that's funny that he's dating another fitness instructor. And they've been dating for almost 2 years at this point and seem very happy. So that was all of the information that I could find about Cody. He definitely has more of a calm life than some of the other instructors, but it's also crazy that he was this successful dancer with basically no formal training throughout his childhood, and then he just became this crazy successful Peloton instructor. I do feel like he has a very charismatic personality, as all Peloton instructors do, so that's probably part of like their crazy lives, that they're just so willing to go out and get what they want, and they're so persuasive that people will follow them no matter what they're doing. I'm going to be doing 4 different rides. I'm going to do 2 today and 2 tomorrow that I think encompass Cody. So I think that intervals and arms is definitely a very popular segment he does, along with just his normal pop rides. I'll also be doing an XOXO Cody ride where fans write in questions and he answers them while on the bike. That's kind of his most popular series that he has, that he regularly does. And then I'm going to end it with the Britney Spears ride. I was deciding between Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys because I feel like both of them really encompass Cody, and that he talks about how much he loves both of them a lot, but I just feel like Britney Spears edges out the Backstreet Boys just a little. So those are the 4 rides I'm going to do. I'm going to start today by doing a 30-minute intervals and arms ride from December 1st, 2020. And it is just a lot of pop music, which is no surprise. It is his top rated interval and arms class ride, which is why I chose it. I don't usually do a lot of intervals and arms rides. It's definitely been a while, so it'll be fun to mix it up. I'm going to do the 30-minute Britney Spears ride from July 15th, 2020. I have done this ride before. I remember it being super fun. I really like Britney Spears. Cody really likes Britney Spears. I know that this ride will just be a really fun time. So let's just get right on into these rides. I really loved both rides. They were super fun. For the arms and intervals, I felt like the arms sections were really easy, and I wonder if it's because I have been doing strength training that my arms are actually getting stronger. I use 3-pound weights on the bike and 8-pound weights usually when I'm doing strength training off the bike. So I wonder if I should upgrade to like 5-pound weights on the bike. They always say use 1, 2, 3-pound weights, and I feel like I'm not above average. So I don't know, let me know what you guys do. Does anybody use over 3 pounds on the bike? I don't want it to be dangerous, but I felt like I could have been getting more out of the arm sections. The intervals were Tabata though, and I thought that they were way harder than usual for a Cody ride. There was a large range, so you could definitely modify it to make it easier, but definitely thought he brought it. It was a hard ride, and I find that usually for like arms and intervals, usually the intervals aren't that hard and then the arms aren't that hard, and it's kind of a wash ride, but I actually thought that that was a pretty good ride. I just wish the arms was a little bit harder, but the intervals part was really good. And then the Britney ride, I knew what to expect because I'd already taken it, but super fun. Obviously, he's very passionate about Britney Spears, and if you like Britney Spears or you like Cody, I would highly recommend this ride. It is super fun. When the instructors are passionate about the music that they have in their rides, I just feel like no ride beats that. It's just such a good time. So that is it for the rides today, and I'll see you tomorrow when I do Cody's 2 other most famous rides. It is the next day, so I'm going to be doing the final 2 Cody rides. So I'm going to be starting with 30-minute XOXO Cody Festive Fantasy ride from December 15th, 2020. This is the most popular XOXO Cody ride, which is why I chose it. It is all basically Christmas music, but I'm very excited. I was visiting my parents a lot of November and December. They don't have a Peloton, so I didn't get to do any of the festive rides. So we're just gonna have a little Christmas in March right now and listen to some Christmas music. I'm excited for this ride. Also in these rides, the riders write in with questions for Cody, so I'm sure that is going to be like holiday edition, so they should be really funny. Like, I don't know if it'll be like gift ideas or how to handle relatives over the holidays, but I think that it will probably be a pretty funny ride, and I'm excited for Christmas music. I love Christmas music. And then for a pop ride, I feel like Cody is known for his pop rides. He does a ton of them. And instead of doing the most popular one, I'm going to be doing one that my friend just sent me. And it is a 30-minute pop ride from March 16th, 2021. And it is like Black Eyed Peas themed. It's not only Black Eyed Peas music, but there's like Fergie, will.i.am, like their individual songs. So I'm very excited. And then it just ends with Britney Spears because why not? Cody just loves Britney Spears. So I think that this will just be a super fun ride, and I like really want to take it. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and let's just get right on in with it. The Festive Fantasy XOXO Cody ride was super fun. Those rides are definitely more chatty rides, like they're never going to be super hard, but they are just a ton of fun. You're still doing a workout, and then usually in the middle there's a recovery section where he kind of rapid fires answers a lot of questions, and I'm actually surprised that he doesn't get as much blowback for them, because in this one of the questions was, oh, like, what do you think about holiday engagements? And he's like, oh, they're super tacky. So I'm surprised that people that have holiday engagements aren't like, oh, that was mean to say. But he says like a lot of opinions like that seems like it would offend someone, but I never see anybody offended by anything he says. So that's interesting, but it was super fun, good music. Really no complaints about that ride. And then the pop ride was also super good. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be. It was definitely one of the hardest Cody rides that I've ever done. I would consider it a climb ride. There was a lot of heavy resistance and out of the saddle work. But again, the music was super fun. Cody is super funny. All around, just a good ride. And I wish that he actually came out with more rides like this, because I love Cody's personality, but a lot of the time I think that his rides are a little too easy for me. But this was a good hard Cody ride. So if you're looking for that, I would highly recommend. Or if you like Black Eyed Peas, he called this ride Black Eyed Peas Deconstructed because there are like Fergie and will.i.am songs too. But overall, good music, good ride, and Cody is just a super fun instructor. Also, this is going to be very, very niche, but I got a new cartilage piercing, which I didn't think about when I got because I can't wear headbands that cover my ears now. And even this headband I have like bobby pinned up so that it doesn't rub against my piercing because I'll agitate it. So if you've ever gotten a cartilage piercing, let me know any tips of what I should do with this headband situation. If not, this is probably going to be the look for the next couple of months, which is sad because I really like those other headbands better. But you know, that's the sacrifice you gotta make when you get a piercing. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a little different than my normal video, but I actually had a lot of fun like looking into Cody and learning all about him, and then taking some of his favorite classes so you guys could also get a feel for what he offers on this platform. If you haven't taken him before, I highly recommend. He's definitely a rider favorite. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to see more videos like this, and if so, what instructors do you guys want to see? I put up a poll with only like 5 instructors because I didn't want to list all 25 instructors and just have it be completely overwhelming to vote for. So I'd love to hear who you guys would like to see next. I hope you guys are having an awesome week, staying safe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!